Wait, did you just hear that? This solo changed the entire crowd in seconds. The lights in San Jose dim just enough to pull every eye toward the stage, and a low hum spreads through the crowd as anticipation builds in a way that feels almost electric. No one is shouting yet. No one is moving too much, but everyone knows something powerful is about to happen. Then the band settles in, and there he is, Keith Richards, standing calm and still, his guitar resting against him like it belongs there more than anything else in the world. There is no dramatic entrance, no flashy movement, just a quiet confidence that fills the entire space. The opening groove of It's All Over Now rolls in smoothly, instantly familiar, wrapping around the audience like a memory coming back to life. The sound is warm, slightly raw, and completely real, and as it spreads across the arena, people begin to lean in, drawn by something deeper than just music. Keith's hands start moving slowly, deliberately, every chord landing with weight and intention, as if each note carries a piece of history with it. There is no rush, no unnecessary speed, just control and feeling. And that is what makes it impossible to look away. The crowd reacts almost instinctively, heads nodding, hands rising, some people closing their eyes as if they want to hold on to every second of what they are hearing. It stops feeling like a performance and starts feeling like a shared moment, something happening between the stage and the audience at the same time. As the song builds, Keith steps slightly forward, not in a dramatic way, but just enough to signal that something is about to change, and when his guitar tone cuts through the mix, it is unmistakable, warm, gritty, and full of character. Then, the solo begins, not with an explosion, but with a slow emergence, like it is being created right there in front of everyone. The first notes are simple, almost quiet, but they pull the audience in even deeper, leaving space between each phrase, so the sound can breathe. Keith does not rush anything, letting each note unfold naturally, bending them just enough to add emotion, holding them just long enough to make them matter. The band pulls back slightly, creating space around him, and suddenly every detail becomes clear. Every tiny variation, every imperfection that makes it feel alive. There is a moment where everything seems to slow down, where the noise of the crowd fades into the background, and all that remains is the sound of the guitar. Keith leans into a note, stretching it just a little longer than expected, and it hits. Something deep inside the audience, something that cannot be explained but can definitely be felt. Some people cheer, others stand completely still, completely absorbed in what is happening, and in that moment, the connection between the music and the crowd becomes undeniable. What makes this solo unforgettable is not complexity or speed, but emotion, every note feeling like it has something to say, something real, something honest. Keith's body remains almost still, but his hands tell the entire story, sliding between notes, bending them gently, pausing at just the right time, creating something that feels effortless, but deeply intentional. The solo begins to build, not in volume, but in intensity, each phrase connecting to the next, forming a flow that feels natural and continuous. The tone of the guitar remains warm and slightly rough, grounded and authentic, and that is what makes it so powerful. The crowd starts responding more actively now, feeding off the energy, cheering between phrases. But Keith stays focused, completely locked into the music. Then comes a shift, a phrase that feels more open, more expressive, catching the audience off guard in the best possible way, followed by a wave of appreciation that spreads through the arena. The solo reaches its peak not with a loud climax, but with a sense of completion, a final phrase that ties everything together in a way that feels simple yet powerful. And just like that, he steps back, the band fills in again. The rhythm becomes stronger, and the song continues, but the energy in the arena has changed, becoming deeper, more connected, more real. Keith returns to the groove as if nothing extraordinary just happened, no gesture, no acknowledgement, just music. But everyone in that arena knows they just witnessed something special. The rhythm settles back in, steady and familiar, but the atmosphere in the arena is no longer the same. There is a lingering energy from the solo that refuses to fade, hanging in the air in a way that keeps everyone connected to that moment. People are still reacting, some smiling without realizing it, others still frozen as if they are trying to hold on to what they just felt. Keith stands in his usual position again, relaxed and focused, not looking for attention, not trying to capture the moment, just moving forward naturally as if everything that just happened was simply part of the flow. The band locks in tighter now, the groove becoming stronger and more unified, the drums driving forward steadily, the bass holding, everything together, and Keith weaving through it all with effortless precision. The crowd begins to move again, more freely this time, clapping along, some singing quietly, others simply letting the rhythm take over, and it no longer feels like they are watching a performance but participating in it. Keith adds smaller phrases, now short riffs that slip in and out of the song, each one adding something subtle but meaningful, never repeating exactly, always keeping the music alive. There is a calmness in the way he plays, a quiet confidence that does not need to prove anything, and that is what makes it so powerful. The lighting shifts slightly again, casting new shadows across the stage, but the real focus remains on the sound, on the way the music fills the space completely. As the song moves forward, there is a brief exchange between the instruments, a subtle conversation that flows naturally, and Keith responds not by taking over, but by complementing it, adding just enough to maintain balance. His playing remains controlled, knowing exactly when to step forward and when to hold back, and that balance is what keeps everything grounded. The crowd continues to respond, now more unified, more connected, the energy flowing through the entire arena in a steady rhythm. Keith leans into another riff, just a few notes, but enough to draw attention again, and the reaction is immediate, genuine, proving that even the smallest moment can have an impact. There is a sense of understanding in the audience, a recognition of what they are witnessing, something that does not need explanation. The band begins to build toward the final section, the energy rising slightly but staying controlled, never rushing, never forcing anything. Keith continues to play with the same steady approach, his fingers moving with ease, guided by instinct rather than effort, and it looks simple, but feels powerful. The sound fills the arena completely now, surrounding the audience, pulling them into the final moments, and there is a quiet anticipation building, not for something dramatic, but for closure. The final chords approach, and Keith plays them with the same calm intensity that defined the entire performance, clean, honest, and perfectly timed, without any unnecessary flourish. The last note rings out, hanging in the air for just a moment. Longer, and then everything goes silent for a split second before the entire arena erupts into applause. It is not just loud, it is full of appreciation for the music, for the moment, for what they just experienced together. Keith steps back, slightly gives a small nod, and that is it. No big gesture, no need to say anything, because the music has already said everything. As the band prepares to move on, the audience slowly returns to reality, but the feeling remains, staying with them long after the sound fades, because moments like this do not disappear quickly. They stay in memory, replaying again and again. And in that memory, Keith Richards stands there almost still, guitar in hand, telling a story without ever saying a single word,